Somewhere in the silence between seconds, the earth pauses, not with a jolt, not with a shatter, but with the soft, invisible stillness of a breath held too long. No trumpet of alarm, no blinding flash, just the quiet, impossible fact we are no longer moving, no longer dancing around our star. The tether has snapped and the sun stares back at us, no longer a partner, but a destination. The air is unchanged at first. The skies still glow in soft gradients of peach and cobalt. Birds still trace lazy circles in the warming breeze. But beneath the soil, a deeper truth stirs. Like the echo of a forgotten bell, gravitational certainty has disappeared. We are falling now, not sideways in graceful orbit, but inward, plunging, straight into the heart of the sun. Gravity is no longer a gentle hand that curves our path. It is a straight line, a verdict. And we, a planet once pirouetting on the edge of a golden thread, are now a stone dropped into a burning well. The motionless sky is a lie. We are accelerating faster and faster through a silence so absolute it screams. This is not just a planetary event, it's existential. All of evolution, every dream, every breath of every life was balanced on motion, on the perfect forward fall that made life stable. Without orbit, there is no balance. Without balance, there is no time, only descent. And the strangest part, the sun hasn't changed. It's still humming, still fusing hydrogen into light with serene indifference. It doesn't know we're coming. Within the first hour, nothing looks different. Cities remain lit, children still chase shadows across playgrounds. But high above, beyond the clouds, beyond the fading curl of the magnetosphere, an invisible transformation begins. Earth is no longer tracing an ellipse, it is tracing a fate. According to Newtonian mechanics, an object that ceases to orbit begins to fall toward the body it orbited. If Earth were to stop moving sideways at nearly 30 kilometers per second, gravity would claim it with unforgiving precision. Our planet, once a dancer, becomes a diver, and the sun, it becomes a cosmic abyss. At first, the descent feels slow. Earth falls into the sun's gravitational well as if pulled by a thread too vast to feel, but we accelerate constantly. In just a few weeks, our speed will multiply. The temperature will rise, not from climate but from geometry, our distance to the sun closing like a fist. The atmosphere, loyal but fragile, starts to protest. Weather patterns twist into chaos. Winds accelerate, not from storms, but from imbalance. Jet streams warp. Storm cells spiral across continents like angry brushstrokes. The oceans, once obedient to lunar rhythms, begin to heave strangely, their tides no longer predictable, their bellies warming from below. Solar radiation increases by fractions that feel harmless at first, but UV levels spike, ozone thins, and electronics begin to flicker. Satellites, designed for orbital precision, fail without warning and begin falling too, raining down like mechanical hailstones. Humanity, still unaware of the deeper mechanics, scrambles for explanations. Solar flare, magnetic anomaly, divine punishment. And still, the sun watches. Silent, immense, unchanged. We fall closer. The habitable zone, the delicate ring of life-sustaining distance, is shrinking behind us. Like stepping off the edge of a cliff, we've left the garden without realizing it. And ahead of us now is a furnace that never meant to be touched. It starts as a shimmer. The sky takes on a strange hue, neither day nor dusk. Shadows stretch at odd angles, the light becomes harder, more metallic. Skin tingles not from heat but from radiation. Plants begin to brown at the edges. Birds disappear without fanfare. The world is holding its breath, but not from awe. It's from fear. 3 weeks into the fall, Earth has crossed a fatal boundary. We are now so close to the sun that even the shape of light changes. The blues bleed out of the spectrum. Everything becomes warmer in tone, but colder in meaning. Color becomes danger. Even the clouds, if they still form, drift like smoke across a copper sky. Temperatures rise with a calm that feels cruel, not in bursts, but in waves that wrap the globe in an invisible fever. Crops wilt mid-harvest. Rivers shrink not from drought, but from evaporation. Cities swell with heat. Asphalt softens. Power grids fail. Not everywhere at once, just enough to feel the pattern forming. Bodies respond in quiet revolt. Nosebleeds, migraines, dizziness. Hospitals overflow with symptoms that have no virus, no source, just proximity. We are nearing the solar kill zone. The Earth's surface is slowly turning into a low-temperature oven, and we are the contents. And still, we fall. Forests ignite without lightning. Glass begins to melt in the upper floors of high-rises. The oceans, our last refuge, turn against us. Massive blooms of algae choke coastlines. Coral reefs bleach completely, then vanish. Marine life either dives to darker depths or floats to the surface, belly up. The moon, once a calm companion, now feels like a bystander. Its pale face watches our descent with cold indifference, drifting above a world unraveling below. No war, no explosion, no alien invasion, just physics. A planet designed for balance now spirals into imbalance. And the most terrifying thing is how quiet it all is. No screams in the void, no dramatic warning sirens, just the ticking certainty of speed and the slow apocalyptic whisper of heat. We are not orbiting anymore. We are falling into fire. There's a moment, just before systems collapse completely, when time seems to slow. The chaos quiets not because it ends, but because it becomes total. Streets are empty, screens have gone dark, and the wind has stopped carrying news. You step outside and the heat no longer surprises you. It's just part of the air now, like dust, like silence. Your skin doesn't scream, it accepts. The horizon wavers like a memory. Distant mountains look softer, almost unreal, as if the atmosphere has forgotten how to hold their edges in focus. And above, the sun fills the sky in a way it was never meant to. No longer a disk, not even a sphere, just a presence, a glowing wound in space, too close, too large, too quiet. You can't look at it, but you feel it watching, like standing beneath a god whose patience is running out. This is the geometry of helplessness. A planet no longer circling, no longer escaping, only surrendering. The laws that once protected us, orbital inertia, axial tilt, atmospheric scattering, are breaking down one by one. And all around us, nature mimics that collapse. Trees grow wild in the wrong directions. Birds attempt migrations they'll never finish. Insects swarm in spirals, as if chasing a center that's already gone. The air has texture now. Thick, heavy with unseen things. Infrared radiation, magnetic tension, the invisible breath of a star pulling us into its lungs. It smells faintly metallic. Not blood, not rust, something older. As if the earth itself has begun to exhale minerals. This is no longer just a physical fall. It's psychological, existential. We are descending not just through space, but through meaning. Past the boundaries of knowledge, beyond the comfort of equations. Somewhere in space, Voyager continues its silent drift. Blind, deaf, carrying the sound of whales and Bach and human greetings into a dark that doesn't care. It will never know that Earth fell into the sun. It will just keep drifting. And maybe that's the cruelest beauty of it all. We are not being watched, not judged, not punished. The universe isn't angry. It simply is. But what if? What if in that final arc of descent, something strange happens? Not salvation, not reversal, just an anomaly. Imagine, in the last hours before Earth is consumed, we launch something, a shuttle, a capsule, a cryogenic fragment of ourselves, hurled outward on borrowed momentum, not to survive, but to remember, to record, to carry a question forward into the dark. Would it matter? Somewhere, in the blistering layers of the sun, atoms from the Eiffel Tower mix with particles of moss from a forest in Japan. Bones, books, blueprints, dreams, all compressed into elemental soup. We will not go gently, but we will go completely. No ashes, no gravestones, just hydrogen and heat. But maybe, just maybe, some distant intelligence watches the sun and sees a flicker, an irregularity in its spectral output, a brief shudder in its light curve, a message encoded in entropy, not words but a pattern, a rhythm, the final heartbeat of a planet that once thought. Or perhaps the anomaly is not external, but internal. Perhaps as we near the solar surface, reality begins to bend. The physics we knew, those tidy laws of motion and light, begin to twist. Time dilates, gravity folds. In the furnace of annihilation, complexity blooms. We do not die, we transform. Some theories suggest that at extreme gravitational thresholds, space-time doesn't just collapse, it tunnels. What if our fall into the sun, impossible though it seems, punches through to something else? Not heaven, not hell, just elsewhere. What if the end of orbit is not a fall but a doorway? No one would know, no one could follow. But still, it's a possibility. Not probable, not provable. Just enough to haunt us in those final hours. Enough to whisper, maybe this isn't the end. Maybe this is the next version of beginning. And then, it happens. The Earth, once held in perfect tension between fall and flight, crosses the final threshold. No more atmosphere to scatter sunlight into blue. No more clouds to frame the sky. No more orbit to delay the inevitable. just impact. But it is not an explosion, it is not a crash, it is a merging. Our planet enters the sun not like a stone into fire, but like a memory into flame. The crust, the mantle, the oceans, the bones, we all unravel, molecule by molecule, into radiance. The Earth becomes light. Infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma bursts, a sudden bloom of electromagnetic grief echoing across space. If a telescope were pointed our way, it might register a spike, a flare, a blink, just one more solar hiccup in a sky already full of them. And yet, something remains. Not in matter, not in energy, in pattern. Because every structure that ever lived, every spiral in a sunflower, every rhythm in a breath, every dream in a sleeping child, was a temporary alignment of forces. And those alignments leave echoes. They warp the shape of heat, the dance of photons, the trembling of gravity. The Earth is gone, but the memory of its shape still haunts the light. I imagine that somewhere a distant planet stirs beneath alien skies. A child there looks up, not knowing why they feel a warmth that doesn't belong to their sun. Not a warmth of heat, but of form, of story. And I wonder if all of this began with motion, with a planet in orbit. Did it really end when the orbit stopped? Or did it simply change direction? Because the universe doesn't end in fire or ice. It ends in movement, in transitions, in questions. And if that's true, then maybe the real what if isn't about falling into the sun? Maybe it's this. What if we were never meant to stay in orbit at all?